Absolutely. And that's what we're seeing with Copilot overall is it's no longer a what agent when, it's what part of the Copilot landscape do we need to bring in at what time? And that's a common question I'm getting from users is as Copilot continues to evolve, do I use chat? When do I pull in an agent? Should I be using Cowork for this? Should I be using potentially just a light chat agent? What fits the bill? To get this work done. And looking at your scenario that you had there, Stephanie, of the chat, great for asking questions, then moving to the premium version where it can work with agents and build out from there, and then co-work for those multi-step autonomous tasks. So if we look at doing a demo, I'm just going to share my screen. So please let me know if you can see it. Beautiful. And so what we see here is the difference between chat and co-work, right? So when we're talking about that use case scenario that we had, I did go off of your use case, right? Hi, Copilot, kind of project updates, what only include. And so it let me know, you might want to make sure when you're taking notes and working with a client to get these key items. So I progressed from there, being new to this, having Copilot as that thought partner and showing me how to do these project updates or gather the data I need, to then going and continuing to have that conversation with it in context. And so what you can do, and we talked about this, I'm just going to scroll up here, is you talked about bringing in agents, right? So users will go, okay, so I did it with chat. This is great. Now I need to build a PowerPoint deck. And so Microsoft has in their store a PowerPoint agent, a Word agent. And so you can invoke those at any times while you're chatting with Copilot by hitting that plus button and, adding in agents and adding in capabilities where it could go forward and do that PowerPoint presentation for you. So that's what I did here is I said, can you create an update presentation? And it gave that to me. And I also asked it to do it with my company template. So that's something else that it can do. And I can continue to work with it here. And so, this is good. This looks great. Let me just open this up. It did a really great job at bringing this together. So this is great if I'm done, right? I'm done. I'm ready for my PowerPoint presentation. But in the scenario we see, I am a project. I'm trying to work through projects. So as my role evolves, I maybe need to do this repeatedly and I need to have it in the same process. Maybe I'm doing 10 projects a month and I need something to speed up potentially a package, right? Let's build out a package for this. So what I'm going to do is close this and go, okay, I'm repeating this process. So I'm going to open up Cowork. And so what I did here now is I worked with it, and Ratan will talk about skills a bit more in a bit, but I basically had the conversation of let's build out a skill. This is what I need in my project package. And I need you to develop a skill that I can reuse whenever I have a new meeting or client documents. And we're going to go ahead and use that skill moving forward. So I had this entire conversation with it where it was asking me what I wanted the output to be. And then I can flip over now. And what I did is when I went into Cowork, I said, I need you to build that briefing package for me from this PowerPoint template that we had. And I need you to use the skill. So the skill is telling it what it's supposed to output for you. And so you can see the steps that it goes through to generate all of those outputs. So I can actually click here now and see that it did use the template that I had provided to it in the skill. And then it's also done a talking points Word doc for me that I can review. And then when I scroll through, it also started to add in a calendar appointment for me to block off time to prepare. It's also at a stage right now where it's asking me to send a reminder email to everyone. But you can build, this is where those autonomous tasks come in, especially with skills, and where the real power of Cowork is just in that ability for me to take a process that I had no idea about, learn with Copilot Chat, extend into building presentations, to extending into full packages. That if we look at this, I can actually now say, pull up the cost skill. And I know that this costs me 1,000 credits, $10 to save me hours of time in doing this repeatable process. So that's a bit of a storyline of the business value we can see and what to use when.